that will leave Bibiana, poor Annaliese, and poor Jane, with a ticket punched back to whatever miserable place they live. Patrick! What a wonderful sound effect. That was incredible. Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to my buddy, real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Patrick is the producer of the podcast. He's behind the glass over there.
Hi, guys.
Maybe a bridge show. I got to catch a flight to Virginia, so we're going to speed through this episode. Another clip show. I think we were at 80, 85 clips.
I think we were coming out right around 84 clips.
Yeah, so it's going to be a clip-heavy show.
The fans like it, Dylan. Don't shit on it.
No, I'm not shitting on it. I think the clips add to the production value of the podcast.
Although last episode we talked up the amount of clips, and I ended up cutting a lot of the clips.
Right.
So we had less clips than we thought.
All right, well, who knows what'll happen tonight. But anyways, let's get into it.
Hey, Dylan, you got to tell them how we're going to split up the episodes, too. You don't want the baby birdies.
I always goof on this part. Since me and Nick are both vacationing this week, it's Dark Week officially in all podcasts across the planet. We're going out of town, so we're going to record the first one tonight. We will be back Saturday or Sunday. We'll record a quick one and get it out this weekend. So hang tight. Second episode will be coming soon. Suffice?
Sure.
Yeah, that's good, Dill.
General thoughts. That's where we generally talk about the episode and give our thoughts on what we thought about it.
Can I go first?
Absolutely not. I'm going to go first. I thought it was fun. Nick, go next.
You explain general thoughts weird. You say it's how we generally...
That was a terrible explanation.
It's where we give our thoughts, but general ones.
Pat, what are your thoughts?
All right, here are my thoughts. As I'm watching that fun intro, the one where they do like a Three's Company thing, and the cast are all doing their quirky little things.
All the goofy stuff, yeah.
I'm thinking the whole time, what a bunch of losers. This is the B squad. I'm going to say Kaylin, Lipstick Eater, and Tayshia are the exceptions. But other than that, I'm looking at this cast, I'm like,
yeah,
whoa.
I think Kaylin's chum. I don't think she's great. I'll get into this later on. I think the casting was really, really poor this season.
Oh, especially for the dudes. It's like some of the guys...
Don't get me started on the dudes.
Well, they're like hey,
Pat, we've got to get to Nick's general thoughts.
I want to hear his thoughts.
I want to hear thoughts. We're going to talk about this. We got to speed through the episode. Nick,
I'm on a cliffhanger with what Pat was saying, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to focus for the rest of the episode.
How many knots do you give the episode?
All right, you brought me back. This is about 76 knots. There was a lot of stuff going on, despite... Because I agree with you, the weak cast.
All right, so last we left off, we were on the eve of our first rose ceremony, and we have arrived. Let's get to the roses and the guillotines. Pat, do you want to do a roll call? How are we going to do this? The people that couple up?
Dylan, I'll do a roll call of the guy and who he chose, if you'd like.
I would love that, Pat.
Roll call! Here's what guys... Roll call! Here's the dudes and what girls they picked. All right, Derek picks little Demi. Clay picks Nicole, the chick with the annoying stoner giggle. Wills picks Katie. They're getting to nose each other. Vampire picks Sydney. JBJ picks Oh No Cuz. Cam picks Kaylin. She will not be returning here next week is my pick. Dylan picks Hannah G. Let's give him a new voice, some self-esteem, and he's a 9. Blake picks Tayshia. She accepts it, but she needs an apology and then says Blake who, which I thought was passive-aggressive. And Grandpa Chris picks Lipstick Eater.
Yep. So that will leave Bibiana, poor Annaliese, and poor Jane, with a ticket punched back to whatever miserable place they live. Patrick. What a wonderful sound effect. That was incredible.
So apt. So incredibly apt.
Goodness.
But what was with Annaliese being inexplicably shocked once again?
Right.
Get the hint. I know Chris was sweet-talking you, but you got to see this coming. You idiot. You absolute idiot.
Yeah. I mean, just some quick highlights. I love JPJ saying that he's thoroughly enjoyed the bond that he and Onokaz have shared thus far.
It took me a while, but I'm on the JPJ train. I get it. He's hilarious. Everything he says,
he's funny. It's weird. I'm kind of starting to let a foot drag on the dirt, outside the JPJ train, because he just kind of, if you were around him, he would kind of weird you out a little bit. He's just way too... He's like a well-spoken sling blade. It's really weird. Vampire Pig. Sydney just does not seem excited to be with Vampire Pig at all, and that's where I want to get into the casting conversation. These guys are just not good enough. The women do not seem excited to be with 80% of these people. I'm sitting here wondering, why aren't people mixing it up? Why aren't people going after one another? It's because they're genuinely not interested in one another. And we've had this problem on Bachelor in Paradise in the past, where these people are all losers. They don't really like one another. And so it just becomes this guys hanging out with guys thing and girls hanging out with girls thing.
Although there are a couple surprises, the girls do, as they group up, fawn over Blake, at least in the previous episode. And now this episode, they talk about Clay in his great body.
Yeah.
That's a little odd to me. I just don't think if this was outside of that, off that island, in the real world, that they'd see Clay walking down the street and going, hey,
right,
look at this guy.
We've talked about it ad nauseum. I mean, bulk is not in. Tone is in. Bulk is not in.
I know that's the narrative we kind of often repeat, but I mean...
Bulk's not in.
Secretly,
no.
Girls all love a nice hunk of meat.
Maybe
nice slab.
Maybe Michael B. Jordan level buff. My wife talks concerningly about the aesthetic of that young man. He is very handsome, but not Clay. I mean, too much bulk. He looks like a fucking boulder, and he also practices curling with invisible weights, which is fucking nuts.
Dylan saw Black Panther in theater 12 times with his wife for some reason.
All right, let's get to the next morning. Demi recaps the previous evening. A hilarious line. She says, Chris saved us all from Annaliese, thank God. Wha-boom, roasted. And then we get a stunning revelation.
At least we have the power this week. Oh my gosh, cheers to that, you guys. We have the power this week.
They had to have watched the show.
Are you not familiar with the format of the game?
What if they just kept giving it to the guys week after week until they were all just hanging out with Tayshia?
Or each other. I mean, I'm frankly pretty convinced that they all like each other way more than any of the girls. Jordan Kimball has arrived. Did you guys miss him?
Not really.
No.
He's got too many one-liners front-loaded here.
Yeah.
They're almost like on top of one another. I'm confused. My brain can't keep up with it.
I love him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel like he has some of these lines planned, but most of the time he just keeps talking.
Right.
It always turns into complete nonsense.
Yeah.
But he's fun and he's done it just with sheer energy. He's became mayor of paradise. This is his fucking beach.
It's weird. I feel like he's off his game a little bit. He said that he's looking for the bone depth of a true connection. What does that mean? That's what you're talking.
You get past the flesh. You get to the bone. The bone depth.
Nobody
that
says
deep.
the bone depth. I mean,
Jordan Kimball does.
All right. It's not you're not fucking Cormac McCarthy, okay? You're on fucking primetime television. This is a dating show. You don't need to say bone depth. That's a phrase no one's ever fucking heard of.
Hey, Cormac, TikTok, let's make it rock.
What?
Hey, Cormac, TikTok, let's make it rock.
What? Is that his line?
Jordan, yeah. TikTok, let's make it rock. I said it. I said that in lieu of what's going on, everybody, for an entire season. God, you forget a lot.
Oh, that's the weed. All right. He does have some good lines. He wants it to be salt and pepper seasoned. He says they're going to be calling him daddy by the end of this.
Mm-hmm. Quick errors and omissions. I said put your confidence on, boys, not TikTok. Let's make it rock.
That's right.
God. So he, as you said, does have a lot of energy, a lot of false bravado. He walks in, says, "Welcome to my island." And you know what? As off-putting as his little frame and loud mouth is, he's already got people busting up. I mean, people are busting up. Who does he take first?
Hannah G.
Yes, he does. And Dylan is, quote, nervous. Of course. Jordan and Hannah really bond on account of their common failure in modeling and their unbelievably low intelligence. Yep.
Jordan and Hannah bond over modeling right here on the old piece of paper. It's word for word sometimes.
And over complimenting each other. That's
Yes.
That's how two losers hype each other up.
Yeah. Speaking of compliments, I'm sorry to step on you, Pat. But Hannah, she's just so unbelievably stupid, and I don't like her. So if you guys think that I'm being harsh on her, I've really turned a page on this young lady. So I am going to really, really let the lions go from here on out. I mean, she is just a disgusting human being. I don't like when people pretend to be innocent or good when they have no intention of being that at all. It's really, really off-putting.
Well, compound that with then acting confused when called upon it, and the person they're fucking over is 100% right, and they're fucking with them further by not just giving them the truth.
Exactly.
That's evil, and that's what she does quite a bit.
Yeah, we'll get there to the later this evening. But so, talking about dumb compliments, she says your eyes are bomb. And then Jordan at one point says, I did do this last year, and I know that's why I know it can work. Maybe he was referring to other people, but you'd have to imagine that falling in love with the Joker of influencers would make you a little less optimistic about this process. Mm-hmm.
I'm at a loss for words. That's a great analogy. The Joker of influencers. Wow, she's the sociopath amongst sociopaths.
I don't remember the minutia of what she did really, but it was akin to just burning a pile of money for no reason. I mean, it was all so crazy. So he pulls Nicole over next. We learned that she's a writer, which was crazy. I don't know what she writes, but we also learned that he loves words.
Same.
They talk about the connections on the island called Mexico. And that's when Jordan finds out that Blake has had all these irons in the fire, and he is incensed. And then he finds out that he did a bang bang. And look out. I mean, Jordan is absolutely irate.
He one-nighted? That was the term. I loved it.
Yeah.
He's livid.
So you remember, I said a little bit ago that he loves words, and that he's getting worse at words. He kind of says at one point, what is he referring to when he says a couple milk cartons at lunch? What is he talking about when he says that?
I think that was his brain kind of going sideways. I've called him an idiot savant. Yes, he is good occasionally, but those little puzzles that he's creating in his head with those words, as he said, what he gets off on is putting words in different orders. Again, I think he got caught up. His brain had a little snafu there.
His problem is he talks too long.
Right.
That's the thing. He needs to be like George Costanza and know when to make the exit.
Right.
But yeah, he just rattles on and
Take
on.
one breath. Take one fucking breath, Jordan, and you'll be fine.
Can I say why I think he's kind of successful and why the ladies do tolerate all the craziness?
Absolutely not.
He's got a lot of energy, and he kind of keeps the ladies entertained, and I think he's got a zero threat. So they'll sit there and talk with him.
That's a good take. That's a really good take. Mm-hmm. All right, so Blake calls Jordan a little bit of a troublemaker. And then says one of the most fucking insane things. Jordan came down here to ruin paradise for me. Blake lives in a fairly Blake-centric universe. You call it narcissism, sociopathy. I mean, is it sociopathy or sociopathy? Sociopathy. I mean, he's climbing up the ranks of one of the worst people I've ever seen on this show.
Oh, yeah.
He came down to paradise to ruin paradise for me? Who the fuck are you? He didn't even interact with you on the season that you were on. Go away. Shut the fuck up. So, I glossed over a fairly important thing. Jordan asks Hannah to go on the date with him. She says yes, because she's weak and sophomoric. But she then, out of nowhere, does something unbelievably mature and responsible. She says, I can't go on the date with you. Now, Jordan is fine with it, but also not at all. Pat?
I respect what Hannah did, and I get it. You don't want to go on the date. But, like, get out of your own head. Stop. Stop worrying about everybody else. Have a cup of coffee, look yourself in the mirror and say, how are you today? Can we do that? How is everybody?
I believe the man has a future in self-help.
Oh, God.
I'm just going to say it.
I was motivated. Mm-hmm. You mentioned how Hannah, it was mature and responsible of her to turn down the date. Though it was, I think she did it completely because of other people's opinions of her, because she was starting to get worried she was going to be like ostracized from the group, and she was like, she's like, I don't want to be that girl. That's it. And I already am. So like, she didn't do it for altruistic reasons.
That's a good point. That's a hot take.
Well, you guys had mentioned, I didn't think this would be a motivator, but you're limited on camera time and thus getting Instagram followers. So you take every date you can to maximize your camera time. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that was her probably initial thought. There's no way she wants to sleep with Jordan.
She's got to go up and talk to those other two, and she's like, I'm not going to shut down a date with Jordan Kimball. That's like 25 minutes of screen time. He'll do all the heavy lifting. He'll do all the talking. I can just sit there and look pretty.
We'll get to somebody who's really excited to go on a date with Jordan Kimball in a sec. So somehow Jordan takes this as an offense made by Blake. I have no idea how Blake has anything to do with it. He's like, have a cup of coffee. Say you're okay. And then he's like, what the fuck is Blake's problem? But he sits down with him and he tells Blake that Blake being in a love triangle is fucking up his paradise. Now, one thing that made me cringe was he said that Hannah has a connection with him. And when Blake hears that, you don't see it on the outside, but he fucking lights up inside. Like, that's all he needed to hear to keep him going through these choppy waters of paradise.
Great catch. Like most sex addicts or love addicts, they will focus on just needing the love of that person as the focus of their obsession. And that's all they think about. And that will bring them ultimate happiness. And that's exactly what's taking place here. She will solve all his woes on this island if she makes out with him. And then the next morning it will be empty and it'll just start all over again.
Yeah. On to the next one.
You got it. Yep.
All right. So, yeah.
This is when it confirmed to me that he like really is the mayor of paradise. Because the way he was talking to Blake, he was like, he was like, this is my beach.
Right.
And get your fucking shit together. And Blake was just like, you're right. Yeah. You're right, Jordan.
I think he apologized.
Well, the party split to discuss the ripple effects of this rejection. Dylan is absolutely freaking. He doesn't know that she said no yet, but he says that this is way more stressful than 30 days on The Bachelorette, which was a sad, pathetic comparison. Like, this fucking guy, I just want him to get off TV and go live a normal life, because every minute he just comes across as a more pathetic individual. It's really sad to see.
Well, Dylan, I think that's a great time to play this clip when Hannah G walks over to him after getting the third degree from Demi saying, hey, Dylan's a nice guy. And then she's like, all right, you know what? He is the guy. He's the type of guy I should be pursuing. Let me go over and talk to him right now.
Absolutely. Okay, let's just get to that clip. Hannah heads on over to Dylan, who is by himself staring off in the distance, making it extremely difficult to not pick Blake. And she she tells him that she said no to Jordan.
I'm really happy. I didn't want to I was really sad. I thought you were already gone. Yeah. Now that I'm really happy you didn't go. Are you?
Yeah. Just wanted to hang out with you.
I'm really happy.
Pussy. Pussy. Pussy.
Oh, no.
Pussy. Pussy.
DJ Patrick in the house. Nikki coming up on Yeah, get it, Nikki!
Iggy, pussy illy, wetter than the Amazon, taste this kitty, silly Billy, poppin' Billy, smoke 'em like a swisher, lick this Billy, mold 'em, soak 'em, hook 'em like crack, aftershock, lava drop, I'm on the top, this should be
Hey, stop it. Oh my God, what a fumble on the goal line. Holy shit.
Leon letted it.
68. 68.
I thought it was good, Nick.
I was almost there. That was...
68.
All right, let me shit on this kid again. Dylan, you are well-intentioned. You are a sweet
Hey,
kid.
real quick, you have to short-term memory, baby.
Yeah.
Forget about that last play. We got a lot more podcast, okay?
Clean slate.
Hey. All right.
All right,
Yeah,
let me shit on Dylan. All right. Well-intentioned, sweet guy. As I mentioned earlier in the show, let's get him a deeper voice and some self-esteem. This kid is a 9. He's got the looks, okay?
I disagree. I think he looks like a pug.
I'm thinking the entire time, she's walking over to you, you got it in the bag, stand up straight, stare in the eye, and go, let's go get a fucking drink. Come on, let's party.
Fuck yeah.
Instead, he cries on her lap like a dog that's dying. It's pathetic.
He is a colossal pussy. And listen, I am as close to the line as you can get in terms of, inappropriate lacking of masculinity. I'm almost there.
Yours is so self-aware, though. That's the...
Yeah, but so I'm in no position, but it's really, really bad. I mean, he does this thing where he devolves into this codependent 7-year-old, and he just like leans into her. I mean, this is the moment I took a picture and I texted it to you guys. He's kissing her on the neck, and she is looking off like she is going to fucking... she's so unhappy. She's looking like, how do I break up with this guy without him killing himself? Like, that's what she's thinking about.
Oh, no. How do I break up with this guy and still have America love me?
That's a good point.
This is like a marriage where like the one spouse gets in a horrific accident and becomes completely, they can't help themselves at all. You have to wipe them, and that's
Right.
just the rest of your life.
No, 10 years.
That's what Dylan is.
Stick around for 10 years. No family will stick around for 10 years.
Okay, Pat.
And just give them hints that like the family hints that this is ending.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to start taking responsibility of it. I
Right.
did my time.
Yeah. So I just want to say one thing really quickly before we move on. The reason that Dylan is still in this at all is because of the other girls. They are propelling him forward in this competition. They're constantly against Hannah's desires, telling her that she's got to go after him. And if we do think that she's as savvy as she is, she's got to be like, hey, can you guys stop fucking saying this on camera? Because it's going to make what I'm going to do way worse.
100%. By the way, do you mind if I give my business a shameless plug here to help guys
absolutely.
like Dylan and Blake out? If you guys want to show up on this island and really take control and have all the ladies chasing you, head on over to www.howtobeonthebachelorandcomeinsecondplace.com. All my instructors over there on that online
Oh, you
site.
have employees.
Well, now I do. It's a growing business.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you.
Built on the back of this podcast, plugging it every goddamn time, and we're not seeing a dime.
Absolutely.
Who can do that?
Anyone.
Or who did it in this instance? Who is benefiting?
What did you just say?
Who's benefiting from the classes in this instance?
Oh, okay.
The plug was like a segue, right? Because of it just happened. I don't.
No. It was
a
no
shameless
segue. It was a shameless plug. Once again, he's not paying the rate that we usually charge for people like Ben Lowenthal's horse dealership. Places like that. You're getting this free of charge. And again, if you want to cut us in on any of the money you're making on that floating URL, we would welcome it.
I feel like I could be an instructor there.
Let me consult with some of my silent investors.
Okay. Yes.
Umbrage was something you said earlier. I don't think Hannah is savvy.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that either.
I think she's an empty vessel, and it's embarrassing how she has to ask the other girls what she should do.
Right. I think she's unbelievably stupid. I don't think that she has the intellectual wherewithal to be, I think that you are really grafting this projection onto her, Pat. I think that you think that she's savvier than she is.
We talk a lot about the producers being like marionette puppets and stuff. Hannah is a marionette puppet without a hand on whatever that thing is that holds the strings. She's just dragging it along, waiting for someone to pick it up and control her. And
perfect.
Dylan can't do it.
She looks like a fucking nutcracker, too. I mean,
Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah, absolutely. She looks inanimate. Okay, so let's get to Jordan sweeping Nicole off of her feet. I was getting ready to write, hey, Jordan, maybe don't go after two girls that have connections on the island. There are plenty of other girls you can go after.
It's like a double serve. Okay, you reach for the stars on the first one. You try to hit about 140 miles an hour. Second one, you're going to put some spin on it, 80 miles an hour, get that thing in there.
You don't want to double fault, okay? You don't want to double fault.
You can't give points away, all right? Make it a volley.
They're at love. They're at love.
So it looked like a double fault.
So anyways, Nicole takes a fat shit on Clay's heart, doesn't she? She is so bizarrely excited about dating Jordan. It is really. She sounds like Kristen Wiig's character Judy on Weekend Update. I've talked about this before, but Pat, play the clip.
I'm going on a date with Jordan Kimball. Like, what? Me? Like, out of all people, she chooses me.
Why are you this excited?
I thought we were playing the Judy clip, and I was really excited.
I think I can answer your question, Dylan, although I think it was rhetorical. She acknowledges that she got 0 dates on her season of The Bachelor. There's some low self-esteem at play here, sir.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why she cries all the time.
Yeah, very, very low self-esteem. Clay is he's cool with it. He doles out some really phenomenal, really perfect sports analogies.
I thought this actually was evidence that, like, Jordan's not that hilarious. They're just really easy target because he was cracking this table up.
Yes,
they were
he was.
eating out of his hands, and I didn't think it was that clever.
I thought it was funny. I mean, he of course presented a third analogy, a third comparison, and Derek had to like tap him on the back. Condescendingly power move from Derek.
If he was intentionally doing a bit where he continued just to do analogies, that's funny.
Right.
But you can't tell because he has like no inflection.
No. You can tell. It's absolutely not what he's doing. I thought the first two were good. It's like you're playing basketball. You shoot a shot and somebody blocks it. And you're like, hey, what are you doing? It's how the game is played. You got to be cool with it. All right. So in between the action, I was watching it live with plenty of commercials. I saw a commercial for a film called Where'd You Go, Bernadette? Oh my God. Cate Blanchett, the most beautiful woman to ever hail from the land down under. Billy Crudup as her loving husband, and the aforementioned Kristen Wiig. Count me in and color me real fucking excited. Did you guys see this?
I did.
Oh my God.
I was actually thinking when I watched it, we always think we have to do seasons for some reason. Why don't we do a one-off another Where'd You Go, Bernadette podcast?
Yeah, that is a fucking phenomenal idea. We'll talk about it off mic because I really do think that has legs.
Where and when? That's all I need to know.
All right, so let's get to the date. They head into the woods of Mexico, and Jorge swings in like fucking Superman. Nicole is such a little star fucker. She is smitten by Jorge. If he wasn't a God-fearing Christian with a beautiful family of 9, he may just take her from Jordan right then and there.
So there's a theme going on here with Jorge's Torres. Okay, so 2 seasons ago when he had the horseback riding excursion, he let whatever couple was on that date know where he was conceived.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't pick up on this.
Yeah.
There is a theme.
And he told the story. He's like, over here is where mommy and papi blew a load. And that's where I became.
Okay.
And then this time, if you remember, he said, this is where someone launched some population paste in the corner, right? Don't you remember that?
Holy cow.
He shows him where he first launched some population
he said,
paste.
this is where I lost my virginity. Mm-hmm. And then he says, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Jorge, they're not going to just fuck each other right here. Jesus Christ. Do you want to get to the zip lining?
Fear-based date.
Sorry, my buddy Rusty just texted me, let's go to Sizzler. All right. So
you got to know Rusty, guys.
They go zip lining, and once Jordan gets down, he yells, I'm going to catch you from the other side. Jordan, there are trained professionals here. You can't just jump in and catch someone. There's massive liability to have you stepping out on the platform, cushioning her landing. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable how unsafe that idea is.
Hey, guys, can I do meanwhile?
Yep.
I think the audience knows what I'm going to do here.
Yep.
Meanwhile, while those guys are on this date...
Give us a little more energy on the meanwhile. I feel like you're phoning it in.
Okay. So Nicole and Jordan are having a great date with the zip lining, but there's other things happening on the show simultaneously, and this is where I cover what's taking place. And this segment's called Meanwhile, Dylan and Hannah bond while Blake freaks out. Blake says the only thing that's bothering him right now is he needs to get a rose from Hannah. Meanwhile, Demi tells the girls he's a piece of shit. Meanwhile, then Blake whines while doctors fix his fucking toe over that mishap involving a football.
Yeah. All right, so a lot to break down here. I just want to say two things really quickly. One, I want Demi and Blake to have a showdown more than anything. I want Demi to dominate Blake in a face-to-face confrontation. We haven't gotten that. I think it would be wonderful television.
It would be like a Jedi Knight fighting a paraplegic.
Absolutely. Also, why is no one talking to Tayshia? Why is no one talking to her? She's the most beautiful, competent, intelligent person on this island, and she's just like hanging out with the girls.
Kevin, step up.
Come on, you little vampire pig. I forgot you were on the fucking show. He has had no camera time because he's boring. You know how I know he's boring? Because he committed to 5 hours in the gym every day for 2 months, and you really have to have nothing going on to do that. So anyways, let's get to the injury. The girls are laughing at Blake as he stubs his toe on a rock. This is not funny. This is not anything to laugh at, okay? I get that Blake's an asshole, but this is a painful injury. Anybody who's had their toenail ripped off in having foot trauma, it's not funny. This really, really hurts. I feel bad for him.
I don't feel bad for him. He could have lost his fucking toe for all I care.
Have you ever stubbed your toe so bad that your toenail came off?
Oh, yeah.
It's awful. I've done it. I hit my foot. I scraped my toe against the cement one time, completely cut my toenail in half, and then I also slammed my toenail in a door one time.
Pain is just weakness leaving the body.
Sure. All right, so do you want to get to Cam and Kaylin?
I almost couldn't even watch it.
Yeah. So he really wants her to be his bachelorette. He reads her a beautiful handwritten letter that is filled with very, very flowery, concerning language. And then he gives her the letter, which is the cherry on top of whatever fucking awful glass-filled sundae this is.
Here, keep this. Put it in a box and cherish it forever. Don't show this to your grandchildren. Show it to them. Can I say something about Cam?
Yeah.
I've tired of him.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, he's not interesting at all. Every time, like, I'm having fun on the show, and, it's really fun, and then he shows up, the show comes to a fucking screeching halt.
Right.
It's so boring.
Right.
He's just one-dimensional, crazy, not fun. I
Right.
want him off.
Yeah, you have to have a little bit more of a dynamic personality to have people be invested in your heartbreak. Like he's just a punching bag.
We misused it for a whole season, but we've all grown weary of Cam.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get to Mike coming in. Big Mike. Shitface says that he's the most beloved person in Bachelor Nation. Sorry? I know 3 podcasters who are not in love with Mike. Jeez Louise.
It's almost like he's trying to use the secret on us. Like, if you say it is, then you'll fool the rest of us into believing it is. No, we're not believing this, Chris. Mike is a fake. He's full of shit. My point. Mike Johnson shows up and he goes, hey, I don't quit. Mike Johnson doesn't quit. In third person.
He's speaking in third person within 40 seconds of camera time, and then he's just flashing that stupid, fake, silly smile that makes me so angry.
It's gross.
I think Chris saying Mike is the most popular person in Bachelor Nation, to be honest, although this was filmed earlier, but shot at Tyler C. He's no longer a fan of Tyler C., Chris, because he went out on the date with Gigi Hadid, and Chris basically wrote him off. He's like, well, I'm glad he's having his fun, but like that's not something we want our Bachelor doing.
Well,
and basically said it's down to Mike. This is basically his tryout to be the Bachelor or Centimeter Peter.
Well, he's going to fail. Centimeter Peter will be the Bachelor because I don't think that America can stomach Mike. I don't think he's too empty a personality.
Yeah.
He's boring as fuck.
May I disagree with shit-faced Chris Harrison about that point? Well, he's dating an international model. Yeah, we don't want that here. What will make Tyler C. the most watchable Bachelor ever is the fact that this guy, his cachet is in the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Every woman will fight to be with him because for the only reason that he's been with Gigi Hadid.
I think that would present a couple problems. I think you'd have to find women who are so confident in themselves that they wouldn't melt down in front of him, knowing that he's been with those kinds of women at this point. And also, I think that Tyler has probably, I don't think that he's been outright rude, but he's probably been like, nope, you couldn't. Why would I do this? I'm making tons of money right now modeling. I would take 3 months off, not get paid that much, and be back down to this level.
You could only make me look like a dick, honestly.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a lose-lose situation.
I think he still has a relationship with ABC, though, because he's doing ABC food tours, whatever the fuck that is, unless it's just a coincidence in name. But back to Mike.
Yeah.
I think you're grafting your and all of us three's opinion onto all of Bachelor Nation, and I'm telling you, there's a groundswell. There are a lot of people. I
can't believe that.
I've got boots on the ground. I'm in those Facebook groups. I'm the finger on the pulse.
I had to leave the Ben and Ashley one. I just left it.
It's not the greatest place.
I just had to leave it. The things that those people say they were making me violently upset. I mean, some of the dumbest fucking people I've ever seen online.
Dylan seems so even keeled. Doesn't handle a troll well. Dylan can be trolled.
I don't handle fucking, and I'm dumb by, if you were putting me on a spectrum of intelligence, but I mean, those people, some of the stuff that they actively write and then hit enter on, mind-blowingly stupid.
Stupid, and that's why they love Mike, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So he takes Kaylin aside. She asks him how he's doing, and he says blessed. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
I decided I'm going to start using that.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah.
You're going to be fucking excommunicated from my life if you say that.
I'll miss you.
Can I say this about Mike again, and this is why I can't stand him? He's so self-aware that this is a play for him. What we will notice is he's going to be Mr. Nice Guy, but he's not going to make any real connections with anybody unless he can kind of break their hearts in a nice way. Very much like Nick Viall did his Bachelor in Paradise stint.
Right.
It's all fake. I hate it. Give it to Centimeter Peter. And let me remind the audience, when we saw Mike Johnson in that bikini talent competition, that guy, he didn't have a lot downstairs to work with either.
Millimeter Mike.
Millimeter Mike. Nice. Start
great.
A hashtag.
So he also talks to Onokaz, and I thought that was really, really cute what they had. I was really excited for Onyeka. She's been less bothersome in Paradise. But, he, like a true scumbag, says, no, I'm going to go pick Kaylin because I think he thinks she's hotter. Which is, is understandable. I mean, it's the base level of attraction. You got to go with that. But I don't get why people think that Kaylin is attractive in any way. Her face freaks me out.
One fatal mistake of Mike Johnson, I think, here is it would have been better optics to pick the girl that hasn't been getting picked and be Mr. Nice Guy.
Totally.
So he's a narcissist and he goes for the pretty girl. He's a scumbag.
Yeah. When he picks her, Kaylin is like Nicole freaking out over Jordan. She is freaking out. Like, hey, Kaylin, calm down. Act like you've been there. This is the reason why you're not progressing. You don't have enough confidence because the fucking pageant industry, the monsters of the pageant industry. All right, so Cam is heartbroken about this whole thing. What's the telephone line? Like the 2 calls he wants to get. Did you guys pick up on this?
I thought this was very sweet. It was the first call was to his future wife's parents asking for the daughter's hand in marriage, and the second call was to his parents telling them that he is engaged.
Oh,
very sweet.
Delusional.
And
Delusional.
insane.
Delusional. Delusional.
Both can be true, I guess.
I don't know. Can it be sweet if it's coming from a place of delusion?
I have both those questions on my vision board.
Your vision board is fucking hilarious.
It starts to get really maniacal towards the end.
Yeah.
And my Armada and
Yeah.
my NBA team.
I just wanted to say really quickly, I know I'm piling on. Cam just starts weeping. And, the more and more we see of him, the more and more incorrect I am about Annaliese being the saddest person the show's ever seen. I really do think that he has that mantle now. He has the expectations of a serial killer, and he cries so much.
He's so pathetic, and she's so pathetic, and you want to feel sorry for these people until they don't date each other. You guys would be
Right.
perfect for each other, but they each look at the other one like you're not worthy of me.
Totally.
They see themselves with someone else on the island, and that's what makes them unsympathetic.
Yeah.
Fuck you both.
Right.
You're pathetic.
Although I would be concerned with their offspring because I feel like it would be like a biological marvel that their child would be the first human being ever to adopt the psychosis of a lemming. I feel like that kid would just, as soon as it would learn how to walk, it would just jump in a pool and kill itself.
Dude, that's I didn't know where you're going. It took a while because I was like,
Yeah,
right when you started, I was like, yeah, that kid will probably kill himself, and that's where you ended up.
Good instincts, Nick.
All right, let's get to the night date.
Night date!
So, Nick did a little bit of digging here.
It wasn't really digging. It was just this elephant brain popped up.
Why don't you take it away?
Mike has become Bachelor Nation's sweetheart, but he's not as innocent, I think, as it seems. He is a player, just like Blake, and as evidenced by this line he gives Kaylin.
I gotta stop smiling.
Okay, a woman would like to hear that. That's kind of means something on a date, right?
What's the problem with that, Nick?
Oh, nothing. I mean, you're smiling. You got a good smile, except when we go back to his one-on-one date with Alabama Hannah.
Well, I can't stop smiling.
Oof.
Those were two different dates. That was not the same line, ladies and
Months
gentlemen.
apart.
The marker of a player is having a little handbook of go-to plays, go-to lines, things that work. Bizarrely, I feel like a lot of the moves in his life don't work. Stop talking about queens and stop smiling like that.
One of my pet peeves with him is not only is he a repeating piece of shit, he's also a fucking teeth licker. He's a teeth licker.
Whoa.
Watch the tape. Watch the tape. No. Watch the man. Try and lick your teeth naturally when you're laughing. Why would you need to do that?
Oh.
Is it?
Ew.
This is not a natural move. This is something he's doing.
It's a tick.
It's supposed to be sexy. It's supposed to be sexy. Look, I don't like lip lickers either. Obviously,
Is he a teeth licker? Or
he's a
lip-
teeth
Oh,
licker.
okay, gotcha.
I understand the lips because they get a little dry
Right.
and you got to moisten up. Your teeth are actually in the cavity in your mouth. They're moist already. Why are you licking your teeth, you son of a bitch?
Yeah, I know. It's like you can't point at your teeth, right? Because that would be a little too egregious to be like, oh, look, I'm smiling. But if you use the finger, the big finger in your mouth, that is your tongue, just to lick your teeth. I mean, listeners, I'm sure you've already tried to do it. It is unbelievably unnatural. I mean, it does not feel good.
Try it at home, everybody.
I can't stop thinking of that old commercial. He's a lint licker. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, totally. Tab.
No.
Okay, so
AT&T or something.
all right, let's move on. Let's get to Derek is looking out at Cam, saying, "I feel bad, but that's just not how you attract a woman." He's 100% right. Cam is just like off in the distance, looking out. Like, why are these people not engaging in the process? Bounce around, talk to people. This is what we want to see. We want to see blood. We want to see tears. You had one conversation with this girl. You wrote a terrible letter that a fourth grader could have written, and then everything's over for you. Paradise is over.
And I hope when Derek was telling Dylan this, Dylan was taking this to heart also. Like a lesson for yourself, Dylan.
Absolutely.
You're acting like a bitch.
Yeah, I do hope he takes that to heart. I don't think he will because I think it's intrinsically who he is. But So anyways, let's get to Wills and Katie. So, guys, I think we've gotten to the bottom of why Katie's had dating trouble in the past. It's because she's insane.
I was so, I thought she was so cool.
Right.
This whole episode up until this point.
Yeah.
And then, wow.
Pat, you have thoughts?
Well, I believe Wills tells Katie everything she'd want to hear.
Yeah.
And she doesn't receive it. Well, initially she receives it really well, and then it goes off the fucking rails.
Wills, we talked about it last week. Hashtag cancel Wills. But him throwing out these lines, it's so pathetic. He does it he bounces around. This is what we want to see. He bounces around to different girls, and he says the same platitudes over and over and over again.
I thought this was the best he's ever sounded, though, to be honest, some of his lines.
It may not be good reinforcement for him, because if this was his top performance, it caused weeping tears from her.
And I actually, you couldn't understand a word she said.
No,
obviously,
no.
she was hysterical.
I hope pills are involved. I hope they're involved.
Yeah, she tweeted out, she was like, a little booze, no sleep, and a lot of emotion, and that's where that came from.
Probably on her period.
Thanks, Pat. 5 stars.
It's a safe bet.
Okay.
How could you take offense to that?
Move on.
But I actually translated what she said. I wrote it down for you guys. She was like, I'm so incredibly desperate. All I've ever wanted is someone to reach out and do one of these setups for me and express their love, and we could be a couple. But it turns out, except coming from you.
Yeah. I admire you breaking all that down, because amidst the tears and the snot and the hysteria was the central message: thank you, but no. And she feels bad about that. Wills couldn't care less.
I'm desperate, but not that desperate.
Right. Wills is a plank of wood, much like Lauren and Hannah. He just is on to the next. He's like a fucking zombie.
Do you remember when Bachelor Nation was trying to throw him down our throat as far as being a bachelor? A guy with colored contacts and piercings in his nose. You're 30, dude. Come
also,
on.
a guy that criticizes someone else for wearing a certain patterned shirt when he himself wore the same patterned romper the year before.
Hey, guys, I got a new segment. Can I break a new segment down?
Love new segments. You know we love new segments.
No one responded to Will's, but new segment.
Okay. The new segment is How to Play the Game by Pat. All right, so I've done a lot of thinking watching these last 3 episodes, and what I figured out is people are really
Hang on.
stupid.
You want to say something, right? I feel like we have the same thought.
Your company should be sponsoring this segment.
I feel like he's just trying to milk his company a little bit more and pay not a goddamn fucking cent.
In the midweek production meeting, he's gonna be like, "Hey guys, why do I sponsor my new segment with my business?"
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, continue.
Well, all right, guys, we'll discuss this after. But anyway, let me get to what my new segment's about.
What's it called again?
Oh, it's How to Play the Game. Okay, get this. No, but all seriousness, think about this. A guy and a girl that have been on The Bachelor and Bachelorette are actually secretly friends, have no romantic interests at all. But when they're cast on this thing, they become co-conspirators to basically hang on the island as long as possible, hook up with different people, and party. And the way they do that is each week they pick each other, but in between the weeks, they go off on their own and have fun, do all the booze, going on the dates, getting the Instagram followers, and then they make it the entire time on the island. And that is How You Play the Game, sponsored by www.howtobeonthebachelor and come in second place.com.
I knew it.
All right, let's move on to the big show of the evening. That is the confrontation between the love triangle of Hannah, Blake, and Dylan.
Briefly before that, Chris
Yes.
swooped in on Katie.
Geriatric Chris.
That's right. I wrote that down. I said he comes in like an old dying seagull and dives on the scraps.
I felt like he came in like a starved wolf on a wounded deer in the dead of winter.
Yeah, all of those are apt. Okay, so let's get to nighttime.
Nighttime!
Before we get to the evening's happenings on, I just want to play a little clip of Blake kind of mulling over what's been happening to him and what he's about to do. Listen to how terrifyingly soft this voice is.
It was incredibly difficult today for me to watch Dylan and Hannah together all day and not go up and like steal her.
I didn't catch that
Ew.
in the first view. Ooh.
He's starting to sound like Mark Wahlberg in Fear.
Dude, but I'm not kidding. The way that he talks is terrifying.
Hey, baby, why are you doing that? Why are you calling me back? Why are you calling me back?
I'll tell you this. If I had a daughter, I don't want him coming a mile near her.
Absolutely.
You're like Grisham.
John?
From CSI. No.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
You'll get there.
Grisham?
I don't know.
From CSI, the bug guy. That's who plays the dad in Fear.
Okay.
You're like him.
So at some point...
You don't want him next to Reese Witherspoon, your daughter.
At some point, Blake says he has big plans for the evening.
William Peterson, I'm sorry. I'm done.
So at some point, Blake takes Hannah aside. And I've talked about this in the past. He does this Stockholm Syndrome thing with her where he, much like The Secret, he talks to her about things that don't exist in her mind, but he just willfully puts them there. Then proceeds to say he's got these huge plans for the two of them. All very creepy. Pat, hit us with a clip.
So like, listen, I am going to fight for you and I'm going to pursue you. I've got some big things planned, but like, I'm not going to shadow you or be like in your pocket. Like, that's not who I am. Like, I am going to pursue you, but I'm going to do it in my own way.
I feel like I'm stressing because I see where you're coming from, but like the whole actions and words thing, it's like my biggest fear is like getting heartbroken again. I'm trying to just like navigate through everything and figure everything out.
I think the reason maybe you're making these excuses that you're saying in your head is because in your gut, like you can feel this.
Oof. Ugh. Total jerk. I don't know how she doesn't say fuck off.
Because she's dumb.
I want to remind you two guys, because I want to say at some point you guys were thinking he might be a good bachelor. I said he was a total jerk the entire time.
Saying that. You keep saying that we said that, and we never fucking said that. And I'm going to have a real fucking problem the next time you do it, okay?
You say this is like Jim Rome and Jim Everett. You call me Chris. One
call
more
me
time.
Chris again. All right. Well, you know, it's just all so off-putting. We had no idea how horrifying this guy's personality was when he was on The Bachelorette. We talked about it last episode, but he came off as the nice guy on that show. He was kind of the Dylan, but not as big of a pussy as Dylan, that made it far. Maybe more of the Peter. He was just the nice guy. We had no idea that he was such a scumbag. But anyways, let's proceed. Blake and Hannah are spinning around on the beach. I guess this is a move of his. Who cares? Then they start making out right in front of them.
He did the same move with Tasha, and she remarks on that, watching from the beach.
Yeah,
did you catch that?
So does Christina. She's like, oh, these dance moves seem a little familiar to me.
Yep. Sociopaths, they find out what works, and they just rinse and repeat. They just it's fucking like a Xerox machine.
Yeah, like I can't stop smiling. So there are plenty of onlookers here, and you know, the girls are telling Dylan, stop looking. And he kind of like gets a little snippy. He's like, why? Is that weird? It's like, no, we're just telling you shouldn't look at it because it's heartbreaking to watch. Why? You think I'm a perv? What is it weird that I'm looking at them?
Blake hasn't handled himself well up to this point. But when Dylan comes up and confronts him here, he alphas the shit out of him and makes him look really bad. I thought it was like, if you're talking about how to play the game, Patrick, I think he played it well here.
Well, let's listen to a clip.
I feel like you've had her like all day, man. Like
Yeah.
You've like shadowed her like
Yeah.
all day. Well, I just feel like I gave you all day today, and I like was respectful, and I like waited. I didn't want to like interrupt anything.
My whole mindset is like, I just kind of want to focus on Hannah.
So am I.
But you weren't. Like, you focused
And
on
I've
every other
expressed
girl
to her.
here.
Dude, I've expressed. Don't do that, man.
Don't do what?
Y'all,
Like, I've expressed to her that like I'm now. I clear all that up, and I'm here for her, and I'm pursuing her, man.
Yeah, I just want to talk.
We've been talking all day, man. She has a hard week this week, and there's a lot going on, and she needs time to make a decision on her own, and you can't swarm her and try and make a decision for her.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that whatsoever.
Like, man, this is why I didn't do this to her when you were with her, because I knew it would make her feel uncomfortable. Like, what you're doing right now is making her feel incredible.
I'm just like
I wouldn't. Like, this is why I didn't do that.
As to that's all.
Nick, I agree with you. Ultimately, he does alpha him towards the second half of that conversation. The first half, he's gasping for air.
Right. He's
Blake.
Blake, you can tell, is a gargantuan pussy himself.
Yes.
Former fatty, disgusting fatty. He is doing that thing where you get into a confrontation with somebody and your heart starts racing a little bit and you can't, you're not really breathing that well. I thought that Dylan did well. As you said early on, the line where he's like, I'm here for Hannah. It's like, what are you talking about? You've been here for every other girl besides for Hannah. But Dylan's got to walk away at a certain point. You got to realize that you're done ramming into each other's horns and you got to walk away.
Well, he stares at Hannah, waiting to see what her move's going to be.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, she's the one that makes the decision here. I'm kind of torn. I hate Blake, so he does not deserve to win here at all. And what are you winning, Hannah? Who cares? But this is what makes men, nice guys, jerks. I want to tell the ladies out there, if you don't know. A guy who's treating you well, and then he walks over there well-intentioned. What she should have said is, Blake, I'm going to give you your time. Give me 5 minutes. I want to go talk to Dylan.
Totally.
That's the mature thing to do.
But, of course, she is no help whatsoever. She's the only person that can mediate this. And she's not going to because, one, she doesn't want Dylan. She's unbelievably stupid. I mean, unbelievably stupid, this woman. And she does not care about Dylan whatsoever.
Yeah, or his feelings, yes.
So, of course, she is not going to offer any help because she wants Dylan to go away. And she's not courageous enough to tell Dylan to go away because she is so fucking stupid. I really fucking hate her.
Yeah, she's stuck in your craw.
I really fucking hate her. She's just this awful, awful little elf on the shelf. I just fucking hate her.
I was just going to say, not to mention all your poor experiences with Elf on a Shelf as a child that really traumatized you. I think that's where this is coming from.
It might be. So, I love this moment where Blake apologizes. It's such a bitch. I'm so sorry. Shut the fuck up. You didn't do anything. There's nothing to apologize over, and you know that. But he reassures her that no one's going to judge her. And then right to the other girls. Pat?
You've done nothing wrong. People know that up there. Like, people aren't judging you even a little bit for any of this.
All day she was Dylan. Wasn't she just with him like an hour ago for like the last 15 hours a day?
Making out on the couch up there.
Like a coop of hens.
Well, they're all right. I mean, they're all like, hey, she's been faking, but not, it's weird. I can't put my finger on it. It's not faking. It's not savvy faking. It's emotionally weak faking. Like, she's dragging everybody on because she doesn't have the courage to be as diabolical as she wants to be.
Yep.
She's not diabolical. She just doesn't know. Anybody who that's why Blake, he tells her what we have a connection.
Right.
We are dating now.
Right.
Dylan can't do that. She does. She's horrible.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Tell me what else to do, Blake.
I like Dylan towards the end of this. There's a little bit of hope for him because he has hopefully essentially written her off. I don't think that he has, but he says he's almost figured out that she is a scumbag. I don't know what's going to require the push over the tipping point, but he's starting to see, this girl is a piece of shit. I wish he would tell her. I really wish he would in the next episode. It's not going to happen because he's a colossal pussy, but I wish he would tell her to go fuck herself and then never make any effort to have anything with her ever again.
Yeah, no, talk to her and then go lay with Tayshia or something.
Totally. You have all of these girls on the island who think that you're nice. Use that capital. Tell Hannah to go fuck herself.
Give me 1 week with this guy. I will have him closing.
Do not plug your business for a third time, okay? Don't do it. That's the end of the episode. We'll be back this weekend with more Bachelor in Paradise podcasts. Guys, remember, jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews.
Just give us 5 stars. You don't write anything. Just give us 5 stars. And also share the show. We're growing pretty good rate here.
Yeah, we're almost at 1 million downloads. If you could just tell your friends, and we've said, if you see somebody in front of you in the grocery, just tell them to. Also, join us on Facebook.
Our motto, unlike New York's motto, our motto is, if you see someone, say something.
Absolutely. Jump on Facebook. Join us there on all the baby birds. Facebook.com. Search Another Bachelor Podcast. Follow us on the social medias. Dylan, Pete, Ren, Real Nicholas Davis, Patrick Hickey 500. That's it. We'll see you guys soon for another episode of Another Bachelor Podcast. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat?
Bye, guys.